Hello everybody and welcome back to the second part of tutorial Rimworld Alpha 9. So unfortunately I had some issues with my last colony. My game got corrupted and I unfortunately had to get rid of everything, re-download it, and reinstall all my mods. So right now this actually is my colony with mods installed. So you'll see some things you don't have in the base game. You'll have UI differences. Basically the same concept, but you're just basically going to be learning the main concept to play the game. Doesn't change. It's just a helpful mod that you can put in to change your UI to help you out so you can control things better and such. As you can see up top here, this is added by a mod that I have. That's very nice to have. It changes some other things as well. Excuse me. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Hold on a second. Gotta set my timer. Okay, so zoom in here. As you can see, you'll see a bunch of different things that you, like I said, won't have in the base game. This here is the paste dispenser. Now you will have a paste dispenser, although I don't believe it is called paste dispenser. It is called, if I can find it here. This is part of having mods. You have a hard time finding things. I know it's in here somewhere. Oh, sorry, it's under miscellaneous. Herpaderp. Is it? No, it's not. So, I think my mod changed it to a wall-mounted paste dispenser. I no longer get the normal one. Which is fine by me. But you'll have basically a paste dispenser. It'll be a lot bigger, it'll be white, that you can put in to use to get out food. And you want to put these hoppers here to, as you can see here, you put the food in it and it automatically puts it into the paste dispenser. And when you do this, you want to make sure you hit storage and make sure that there's no other options besides just food. If you're playing with mods, you'll have fuel probably for something you'll be running. Now, big thing you want to learn here is if you hit overview, you'll go in and this is your overview of everything. It'll have the people you're playing with, the different factions in the game. Here you can look at the world if you want. If you zoom in, you'll see where you are. You can look around, find the other factions that are in the world where they set up shop. So here's a faction. They're in Outlander Town. You can see your history of wealth for the last 30 days, the last 100 days, the last 300 days, or all. You can change the graph to population, colonist mood, your statistics of how long you've played, the storyteller, to challenge scale, your colony wealth in items, your colony wealth in just buildings, how many major threats you've had, how many enemy raids you've had, damage taken, colonists killed, how many colonists you've launched into space. Here you will see basically the work overview. This is where you prioritize what people are going to do. You can manually do it and set it by numbers, but I really want to do that because I don't quite understand it. It's a bit confusing. I don't mess with it. I think 1 is the highest and 4 is the lowest, but I don't mess with it. It's just all those numbers drives me nuts. I'd rather just have check marks. So basically whatever is checked, they will do. As you can see here, the left up here is the highest priority, and then it decreases as you go down. As you can see here, lower priority. So, if you have a fire, and you have them out telling everybody to mine, they will go and do the fire first, because it is top priority. So what I do is I break down and designate people between specific things, so they're not all trying to just do growing and cut planting, and they're not doing anything else. Then you just check mark it, turn it off. As you can see here, there's little white boxes. Not sure if that's just regular or not. Might be actually part of my UI mod. But you can scroll over, it should tell you average relevant skill and stuff like that. Not sure again if that's part of my mods or not. Then, the most confusing thing out of everything with the updates that have been brought if you're just joining is the gear, and the health. Now the gear, if you look, you will see you have items your characters wear. You can wear tons of different layers. So we're going to go here and we're going to look at JoJo. So you can right click and you'll see drop or information. If you hit information, it'll bring up a screen. It'll tell you basically normal, poor, stuff like that for how well condition it's in and the percentage. It will show you the quality, the flammability, the sell price, the maximum health it has, the sell price multiplier, deterioration rate, what it covers, and then what it protects you from, if it's increased or decreased to insulation for heat stuff, and if there's any offset when equipped. So you get +5 global work speed for having the standard issue overalls. Then all your characters will have door keys because you can lock the doors if you want. I have a mod that allows me to lock it so you can only open it with a key. If you lock it permanently, you can't get in. These are just basically to open and close the doors so the other AI can't. Then you also have your pistols, which you want to look at. You'll see same as armor, but you want to look here and see the accuracy, the range, cooldown. And here you'll see it says how long it takes to recover after firing this weapon, how much damage it does, the warm-up it takes to fire the weapon, and the range it's effective to. Anything beyond that, it will start losing accuracy. So then, health. Now I just got this guy, and you can see here he has injuries. You'll see here his statuses are all different. So if you don't have anything, you'll be fine. There'll be no injuries. Now for you guys, your injuries should be listed over here. Because of my mods, it changes. But this still basically is the same. You'll see injuries over here. It'll tell you if you're injured or not. And you have this, it'll all look the same. Right now, my character Sammy is none. There's no pain, and everything's okay. 100% efficiency. Now, if you go over here to JoJo, she has a little pain. Her consciousness is weakened, so she's 98%. Her manipulation is weakened. She's 98% because she has sleeping sickness. As you can see here, this is only minor sleeping sickness. Her next treatment is needed in 1.47 days, and the immunity development progress is 59%, which will increase as the time goes by and you get her healed. Now, if you look, you can also get things that cannot be healed no matter what you do. So here you can see Leroy has 3% pain, his sight is poor, it's a 65% efficiency, his moving is 46%, and his manipulation is 64%. So it might take him a bit longer to get around. He might not be able to work as fast because his manipulation of items and stuff is wrong. He won't be able to see as well, so his accuracy with weapons is going to drop. His farming as well, another thing, is going to drop because he can't see so well. So that's the double thing right there. On injuries, you'll see right now his left eye has a cataract, so his eye is 10 out of 10. So it's not so terrible. But here you can see his torso. It's slightly impaired. So he has a stab scar, which does -4. Then he has a bad back, and it's frail. Which probably means it won't take much damage to back you more, since it's frail. Now what you can do, as you progress, you can go to operations, and you can harvest organs, or you can kill people, or you can install different things. Now let's say Leroy has a bad leg, which I actually think... the bad leg? I don't. So let's say Leroy has a bad leg, and that's the only thing wrong with him. It's really cutting down his speed. He's moving super snail pace. He's not useful whatsoever. What you can do is if you have a high enough medic, and you have the item, you can... I believe you have to actually amputate the leg that you want. So if his left leg's completely messed up, like 20% left, it's crippled, mangled, you can amputate it and then install a peg leg. And that will allow him to move around faster, but not as fast as if he had 2 normal legs. As you progress, you will get better things like bionics and stuff, so you can give him a bionic leg. It just takes lots of materials. Here you have the geothermal generator, which you need to research. You will see here, this is the research table. So what you do is once you set it up, that's a top priority. You just come in here, and you'll have a huge list. You just click on what you want, and as you can see, you will have numbers next to it. that is how long it will take for that item to be researched. So it takes 1,000 work to research electric smelting, and it'll give you a informational little thing over here of what it does. Now as you can see here, I have a bunch of different things. You won't have all this. This is all added because of mods. And if you don't remember what something is, you can go back into what you researched, click on it, and it will tell you more stuff that you won't have that I have. So what I tend to do when I first join in is I get all my resources and I decide where I want to live. So I pause it, I look around, and I try to build near a geothermal generator and mountains if I can, so I'm not straight out in the open. So right here is a geothermal generator, so I decided to building a little mountain here, and then built over here and got my room set up. I got beds set up for them to sleep in because beds are kind of important. The first thing you want to do once you find where you want to live, you want to get the research table up. You want to get somebody researching right away. The other two people, you want to have somebody focusing on your little plots that you make to get growing going so you have food. You want to set up a dump spot to dump all of the unnecessary things like the animals that you kill, robots if they invade, the chunks of stone and such. Then you want to get a stockpile somewhere that you can put stuff in. Then you want to go and get another dump pile where you dump bodies. Now you want to have this dump pile set somewhere where people won't constantly be walking past it and they won't see it, because it will give negative effect if your colonists see dead bodies. Sorry, one second, let me get a drink. Okay, so if you click on it, you will see here that there is storage. There's rename, hide, delete. This is something I believe that's not part of base game. So you can hit storage and you'll bring up a thing. You here will have a list that you can click on to change. So if you want specific stockpiles or dumping zones, you can set specifically what goes there. So let's say that this is just for bodies. So I renamed it to morgue, so I know what it is. So I click corpses, and inside I click so that it only accepts humanoid corpses. It won't accept anything else, nothing else will go here. And that's where they'll bring it. You can do the same with stockpiles. As you can see here, it doesn't allow corpses. Why is that selected? No, I don't want to allow weird people corpses. No corpses at all. Then, so it accepts raw resources, manufactured fuel, body parts, apparel, weapons, items. Then down here I specifically have food. Now once you get the geothermal set up, you want to research hydroponics. Hydroponics is the best way to grow food quickly when you have energy nearby. It'll be basically sufficient. You won't even really need these anymore if you don't want. I mean, I have, I believe, 829 food? Yeah, 829 food just from these farms right here. 2 of them aren't even food. One is hops and the other one's cotton. The rest is corn, seeds, tomatoes, lettuce. Then in here is just resources that I can grow with a mod that I have. And some people are like, oh, well that's not fair, you're growing resources with tables. Well, you know, they don't give you a craptastic ton of resources when you get, like I have, I'm going brass steel, that gave me 1, that's 1. Steel is giving me anywhere from 1 to 3, but it takes a lot to build things. Plus with all the mods I have, you kind of need it. I mean, just to build this Browning machine gun, this takes, I believe, 750 steel, which once you start playing for a while, you don't really get it, so unless you get traders, it kind of is there. So once you get hydroponics set up, once you get your geothermal set up, and you have your room set up so that you have sleeping beds, which is important, next thing you want to get up is a paste dispenser. You want to get the hoppers on it, so that, and a table and some chairs. They'll be happier if they're eating off the ground. They'll still be kind of upset that they're eating raw paste. They don't enjoy it. They get upset. And if you go into thoughts here, you'll see their needs. You don't need to worry about their needs. I don't even believe that's even in just the normal game. I believe they took it out because there's nothing you can do about it. That's all automatic. you'll see their mood and you'll see their thoughts. Now here you can see Joe's been in bed healing, so she has cabin fever. She's sick, so that upsets her. She slept on the ground, which expires in 0.3 days, so in 3 hours in-game it'll disappear. She ate nutrient paste, which she doesn't like, but then she gets positive from this. This is your mood. As you can see here, you have lines. The bottom line is basically a hard mental break, which your person will spaz out. If they have a gun, they can just go on a shooting rampage, start shooting your people, can set fire to things, just steal stuff and leave. The second one is your soft break. Your person will just basically, from my experience, just kind of have a mental breakdown and just get lost and dazed. You can leave them be. They'll wander around for a bit until they come back to and come back in the building. If they have a hard mental break, you need to basically arrest them, throw them in prison, and treat them like a prisoner until you can get them recruited again. As you can see here also, you can go to orders and make out plans, so you can plan out the rooms if you want. So that's what I do. I've been sitting here and I'm like, oh, you know what? Okay, well, I want this to be my crafting room. Over here you can see I have plans to set up a door here, come in. This is going to be the medic room, and then up here I'm setting up a little shop to store my medical supplies, because time is of the essence. If somebody's injured and they need medical treatment, I don't want to have to run all the way back through everything, run all the way over here, grab it, come all the way back. So it's good once you get used to the game to kinda do that. Now, as you unlock, as you can see, more things will come in, which is good. If you go here to orders, this is basically where you tell your people to do things. Now, they will do things on their own. They will harvest, food on their own, replant. They will research if you have a research thing set up. But other than that, if there's stuff out like resources, they'll haul it back automatically. You don't need to tell them. But if you want this stuff moved, like the chunks, you go to orders and haul things and select it, and they'll haul it for you. If you want to cut plants down so the plant's completely destroyed and won't re-go back except for grass, you can use cut plants. If you just want to harvest the plants and have them grow back, you can use a harvest tool. If you want to chop down wood to get wood, just obviously chop wood. If you want to hunt animals, if you have a good cook, you can kill them. Then have a butcher table, you butcher them up into meat, and then you have the cook cook it, which is something good, because when you're just eating raw food, you will get sick, and it's not good because you can get food poisoning. Also with power, you have, I don't believe you have wind turbines. I think you just have solar generators. You can use solar generators, but with that, it kind of stinks, because if you have an eclipse, you're not getting power. If it's nighttime, you're not getting power. Yes, you can set up batteries to store the energy it gets through the day and have a couple of these, but I prefer just to instantly go straight for my first thing, geothermal generator, to get it going. Now, as you see, I have one here. There is another one here, specifically just for this room, and if I would link them up through cables, they would share. Now, something I only found out last update, because I just was kind of derping around, just enjoying the game. Here you will see the power output and the connected rate / stored. So right now, it is putting out 1,855 watts out of 0 watts. So right here, this is saying that there is no wattage storage anywhere. I don't have any battery set up to store any of it, so it's just all being used. The maximum output is 3,600. So when this says 3,600, that means that I cannot connect anything else to this and allow it to be powered. It won't run. Now, this is just a basic little setup I have going here. As you progress through the game, you will get more people, which is very nice. You only start out with 3. It gets kind of difficult, but as you progress, you'll get raids that you can hurt people and hopefully get them to just go unconscious instead of dying from their wounds. My recommendation is that if you do get people and you kill them, right away, make sure that they're interactable, get somebody to haul them away, but before you haul them away, make sure you check that you unselected their weapons, so that their weapons will be able to hauled. If they're better weapons, equip them, and strip the bodies. Even if you don't use it or wear it, you can sell it to traders, which is very nice. Over here you'll see the comms console. You get that automatically as soon as you begin. You can use that to contact ships once you have power, and you have a trade beacon set up. The trade beacon is what you use. Has to be outside, cannot be covered by a roof or anything, to designate the area inside this white circle that will be able to be sold to people. So even though I have stuff in here and this is a roofed area, it still registers as items to be sold, which is really weird, even though it's not supposed to work that way. I don't know if it's because mods I have or it's just a glitch. So that's always nice to keep near things you want to sell. If you have things outside, they will degrade. As you can see here, I have 9 medicine stacked together. It's now 88 out of 100. Because it's outside in the elements, it's degrading. That goes for all weapons, all armor, all weapons, and certain things. Now, I do have here, these are what you would get from harvesting from people, but I'm actually growing them. Here, as you can see, it's a kidney bush, it's a heart bush. It takes a while to grow. This is my, I don't know actually what table this is. This is growing medicine, so it takes a while. If you want a list of all the mods that I'm using currently, I will be starting a series after I finish the tutorial parts to basically go through. This is just a colony. I'm just trying to learn some of the mods because I do have an extensive list of mods and I don't quite understand them all yet. And let's see what else. Toggle zone visibility. You can toggle that on and off and you will hide the zones so you can't see them. I leave them on so I know where my zones are and I can see them at all times. I don't know if this is a part of the game or not. Might not be, but if you click that, anywhere you move your cursor, you can see where it's negative or positive. Negative means it's bad beauty, it's going to bring down the beauty environment. Positive is good. So when people are near it, you can see it'll make them happy because their environment's pretty, stuff like that. As you can see here, it says overall negative 0.4. That means out of this combination in this circle that's selected, it is giving me negative 0.4. As you can see, the turret there gives minus 60, which is a big thing. So if I go down here, 1.1, that's all positive, so that's giving them a bonus. If they're in an ugly environment like in here, where you can see all the stuff on the floor, that's a negative 8.1. That's going to upset the people because it's not pretty. Over here you have your little home region that automatically gets put when you add new constructions. I turn that off instantly because it is annoying and I don't like it. Here, not sure if you have this in default or not, but you can toggle, instead of having a huge list, you can break it down into little manageable things. Another thing, if you go in, your zones are in here for stockpile, dumping stockpile, the growing zone, you can delete zones, add a home region. Home region is you want to have anywhere you have buildings that you'll be using, especially around your crops. Anything in this region, if it gets damaged, will be automatically repaired by your people. If there's a fire in here, they'll put it out instantly. Now if it's outside, like let's say there's lightning strike out here and I have a building and it takes some damage, they won't come out here, they won't put out the fire, they won't repair the building because it's not considered your home region. So if you want, you can even be like, you know what, I don't need this spot here, so moving your home region. Boom. Gone. Let's say you want to have inside an area. I'm not sure if this actually works, I've never done it, but supposedly you can hollow out an area, and if it's open and there's no roof on it, you can actually hit no roof region and go like this, and it will show you right there, if I would do it, that it's not going to have any roof. So if there's a roof there and I went like that, that whole area right now means that there's no roof there, it's open to the sky, so anything can be rained on and stuff. I don't recommend, if you have cables outside, any lights, you cover them the best you can, because when it rains they can short out and explode. Geothermal generators, to my knowledge, even if it rains they don't do anything, but if you got wires they can explode. Let's see, temperature. This is another important thing. Always make sure you pay attention. I believe this is a part of the base game. If not, I would recommend downloading, I believe it's called EBD or EDB. Wow, brain fart. Interface, I believe it is, which you can get off the Ludian Studios forums. You can go underneath mods and see release and find it. There are a lot of really cool mods on there. I have a bunch myself. So if you scroll, if you go inside a building, you can see over on the right-hand corner above overview, it says indoors 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Outside it says 92 degrees Fahrenheit. So there is a difference. The best way to keep your food from deteriorating is what you want to do is get a cooler. I don't know if the cooler is the base part of the game. I believe it is. And as you can see, there's a blue and there's a red. The blue you want to have inside a sealed building so it gets cold, and the out you want to have red. Do not ever have the red either in a closed room or somewhere you're going to be walking, because it gets extremely hot. I did that. I had a hallway that my characters walked down, and I figured no big deal. The room got to 160 degrees, and my people walked in, got instant heat stroke, and with being in there for 5 seconds, they died of heat stroke. So that's something you don't want to do. You can make what they call a kill box. I watch a famous YouTuber called Blitzkriegler. He does it. They walk in, they start getting really hot, and they die off as they can't get into them, which is pretty cool. And you can change the temperature. You see over here how much power is needed, the target temperature. So inside right now it's 33 degrees. If you click on my crops here, you can see that they should be frozen so that they're not spoiling. So I'm going to have to fix that. So what I'm going to have to do actually is decrease the temperature to get it colder in here, because it needs to be below 30, and right now it's 92 outside, so it's not working so well. So if I do that, let's speed it up here a bit. Oh, what's going on? You shooting at things? What are you doing? Why are you scaring me? Oh, there's a cobra, I forgot. Okay. So just gonna unselect him, which if you hit R, you take direct control, and that's how you do combat. You click on somebody, you hit R, and then you can tell them directly where to go. If you don't, you can't tell them to go anywhere. They just do whatever. So that's a good thing to know. Now, if there is somebody in a bed and they're a medic and they need things, you can right click and you'll see rest and heal and stuff like that. So now they should be, yeah, okay, so now the temperature in here is cold enough. It's now 12 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is frozen. These no longer will spoil. They won't take any durability loss, which is good. So, trying to think of anything else I can really tell you guys. I mean, that's basically the majority. The rest you kind of just learn on your own as you go. It's just the basics to help get you situated. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. You know, drop me a message. I will include my Twitter and other things in the description so you can get to me. I greatly appreciate your guys' views. Any feedback is greatly recommended. It's greatly appreciated, especially likes, subscribes, sharing, all greatly appreciated, guys. So I'll catch you guys next time on my modded series, and hope you guys have a good day. See you later.